the press secretary. She was asked point blank yesterday in her press briefing about the assault weapon ban and the AR-15, and I'm going to play you her clip, but she didn't rule out confiscation when asked about it. Let me know what you guys and gals think about that. I'm here doing this video solely for your responses this morning. I want you to A, like the video so that the algorithm picks it up. I want you to B, share the video so more of us sees this. I want you to 3, double check your subscription if you are subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, if you want Second Amendment news, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent every day. She refused to rule out confiscation.
All right, so Jared, you are one of my absolute favorite gun tubers, right up there with God, family, and guns. And so as a result, I'm going to give you a little bit more than just a comment on your video. I am actually going to make an entire video responding to what you've said here. But first, let's actually hear what Karine Jean-Pierre, the press secretary, said. Let's actually go forward to her clip here.
Campaign, one of the Democratic contenders said that what he would do is come for AR-15s. Does the president support not just banning the sale and manufacture of semi-automatic weapons, but further than that, confiscation?
Let me just be very clear. What we're talking about, AR-15s, these assault weapons ban, they are weapons of war and they should not be on the streets.
Okay, I know this is slightly unprofessional, but I kind of just want to first point out how she looks like Miss Piggy. Seriously, guys, image search a picture of Miss Piggy and put it right next to her. She's like if Miss Piggy were from Wakanda. Anyway, I know that's not entirely professional. That's not the point of the video. But here's the thing. They were just asked whether or not they support an assault weapons ban, and she says, oh, you shouldn't have assault weapons. And she was asked, do you support confiscation? And she said, oh, well, they shouldn't have them. She didn't say no. Now, that's got a lot of people speculating as to whether or not the Democrats are going to try to confiscate guns in the near future. Now, I don't know everything. I'm not God. It's certainly possible. But I got to wonder, after the smackdown they got at the Supreme Court in the Bruin decision, if this is more or less just rhetoric trying to rally the base of, the left so that they can support Biden or whoever the nominee is in 2024. Because think about it. You know how a lot of times a Republican congressman or senator will get up there and say, we're going to rein in government spending, and then they go and vote to increase the size of the police state, or they vote for infrastructure, or they vote to send more of our money abroad overseas to different wars in Europe and in the Middle East. So that's the kind of thing where a conservative politician will get up there and say something to try to please us conservatives, but then absolutely do nothing about it. I wonder if that's what's going on here, because if you think about it, they're not in a really good position to confiscate guns, because here's what could happen. Biden signs an executive order saying, round up all the guns. Then immediately, several attorneys general from Republican states will sue him to kingdom come before the Supreme Court. And given how the Supreme Court ruled on the Bruin decision, it's not likely that they're going to support this kind of confiscation. And so he loses at the Supreme Court. And then what? Now the Supreme Court has ruled against confiscation. That's precedent to get rid of red flag laws in that case, because they're pretty much a confiscatory measure. So if the Democrats actually were to go through with this kind of thing at this time without a stacked Supreme Court, they would lose legally, and that would hamper future efforts to confiscate guns. And so essentially what you would get is a neutered ATF that can't really do much at this time. So in order for this to actually work, they would either have to buy off a ton of judges at the federal level and buy off a few Supreme Court judges, or just stack the Supreme Court. So personally, I'm not thinking that they would be likely to try this unless or until the Supreme Court gets stacked, because that's the one failsafe that's left in our constitutional republic. And yes, we are a constitutional republic. We are not a democracy. I hope you guys can understand that, because California, New York, and Chicago should not run our entire nation. It does not work that way. I am thankful that we have an electoral college. I just hope that, we can have clean elections. But anyway, as I was saying, that pretty much puts her in a pickle, in a bind, because if her side does go for confiscation, if they do say, yes, we will confiscate, then you could almost hear the Republican attorneys generals, GOA, and other organizations standing up and saying, okay, I'll see you in court. I'm going to file the amicus brief right now. But if she says we're not going to confiscate, then she loses support at the left flank, and that causes Biden to appear soft on guns. And as a result, he will lose voters in his left flank. Because think about it, he doesn't care if he loses voters on the right. His sort of Darth Vader-like appearance, where he stood up in front of everybody with the 2 Stormcloak Marines behind him, looking like some sort of, Star Wars character, he's already alienated everybody to the right of Joy Behar in this country. And if he were to come up here and say, I'm not going to confiscate, now he's alienating the people to the left of Joy Behar. And there you go. Now you've pretty much sunk the 2024 election, less any shenanigans that would happen in the handful of swing states that decided, in air quotes, how 2020 turned out. So there you have it. I think that this is, in my opinion, just bluster and rhetoric, just like when Republicans get up there and say they're going to rein in taxes and spending, but then vote to make the government even larger. That's my opinion of what's going on here. Again, I'm not God. I don't know everything. She might actually know of some plan within the Biden administration to confiscate guns, which, again, who's going to enforce that? After all, if you wanted to do that, you should have hired 87,000 new FBI agents, 87,000 new ATF agents, not 87,000 new IRS agents. I think they just care about votes and money at the end of the day and couldn't care less what you have in your home. That's just my opinion. I'm not going to underestimate the stupidity of these guys, though. I mean, look at Miss Piggy here. Obviously, there's something amiss. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Have a great day. Jared, I hope you watch this, and I hope to get a comment from you as well. Have a blessed day, everyone.